Hi guys, Smarty here, bringing you a different sort of video series than usual. Now, as a gamer who works for Blistered Thumbs, a website primarily focused on everything gaming, I have a confession to make. I don't know how to say it, but I guess I'll just say it right now. I missed a lot of games. A lot of really good games. Games from the retro console days, games from the PlayStation and Gamecube era. Needless to say, I missed a fuck ton of games. So with that said, I've decided to go back and take a look at a couple of choice games that I could have played, but just didn't. Think of this almost as a confessions of a gamer that just missed a lot of good gems. Join me, won't you? You know, speaking of the GameCube, let's talk about that for the first episode. The Nintendo GameCube, one of the more memorable consoles from my childhood. That tiny colored cube with that awesome handle and the wireless controller. What? You didn't have that cool Wavebird controller that everyone used? Guess you weren't part of the cool kids then. Though I have to say, the GameCube did have such a good lineup of games. Animal Crossing, Mario Party, Eternal Darkness, Super Smash Bros. Melee. Holy shit! So many good memories. Though there were a few games right from the get-go that I just didn't get into. This is obviously one of those games I did not play. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the few launch games for the GameCube that I did not play, my cross to bear, Luigi's Mansion. Okay, so before I actually give my opinion of this game, I'd like to do something a bit different. I want to take a look at the general reception of Luigi's Mansion first off, so we have a side-by-side comparison of my view versus everybody else. So, yeah, Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion is the most successful GameCube launch title, being the best-selling game of November 2001. The game has sold over 348,000 copies in Japan and over 2.19 million copies in the United States, making it the fifth best-selling Nintendo GameCube game in the United States. It was also one of the first player's choice titles of the console along with Super Smash Bros. Melee and Pikmin. While some critics out there have said that this game falls short and fails to deliver a cohesive gameplay experience over a long term, which is fancy term for not much replayability, the game still has left a long-lasting impact on the Mario franchise. And I did not play a single bit of it. Let's fix that. After having won a mansion in a contest, despite not entering any sort of contest, Luigi tells Mario about the mansion and the two agree to meet up outside it that evening. Upon finally arriving at his new mansion, which looks more sinister than the supplied photo entails, Mario is gone. Luigi proceeds inside the mansion and is soon assaulted by a ghost, only to be saved by a little old man wielding a vacuum cleaner. This little rapscallion goes by the name Professor Elvin Gadd, or Professor E-Gadd. The two discuss how this contest is virtually impossible for Luigi to have won due to the fact that the mansion just appeared out of nowhere a few days ago. The reason for this is because the mansion itself was built by King Boo, who freed the caught ghosts and built it to shelter them. They sent Luigi the supplied photo to use it as a trap. By the way, he also captured Mario and put him in this painting. Just like that movie Deathbed. I really do dig the story in Luigi's Mansion. I can sort of understand why kids back in the day really felt attached to the game regardless. Hell, if I played this game when I was a kid, I would have been drawn in by how the storyline makes you care for Luigi, Mario, and company. Specifically Toad. Maybe I'm just a sucker for cute stuff, but every time I see Toad throughout the mansion crying his cute little eyes out, I just want to hug him! I mean, look at him. Meh. That makes me all sad and shit for some reason. Though, if I could say anything bad about the story, and I guess you could say that this is nitpicking and whatnot, but why the hell would someone be so gullible to believe that they want a free mansion? I mean, I know it's probably something that you would be overcome with joy about, but seriously, as soon as I looked at that fucking thing, I would have made new plans to get an apartment in the local town of Nopeville, population 1. If you couldn't tell, the one person in Nopeville is me. You could just do me a favor and send my cash prize to the following address below. Regardless of that, the storyline does in fact check out. At the beginning of the game, Professor Egad gives you a high-powered ghost-catching vacuum called the Poltergust 3000, along with a little device called the Game Boy Horror, which acts as a navigation system, communication system, and overall handy tool that will get your ass through this game. Actually, one of my favorite features in the game is the elemental coins you can get. Some of the ghosts that you have to face are element-oriented, such as the ice ghost in the kitchen, so you have to use elemental coins in order to weaken them. This adds a challenge to catching ghosts because you have to walk in with some sort of strategy. Now, while I do like Luigi's Mansion's gameplay mechanics a lot, I have a few things that I do not like. I'm gonna have to agree with the critics in saying that this game is fairly short. If you know what you're doing, you could beat the story in a matter of hours. Hell, this was my first time playing the game, and I got to Area 2 within maybe an hour and a half tops. Catching the boos in this game is like a double-edged sword in my opinion. While it is a very frustrating experience to catch one of the boos, it also does grant you a sort of vindication that you can only experience by beating that one boss you spent hours on end working up to. Minus 100. Anywho, I have to say that if the game was a bit longer, I would be 100% happy with the gameplay to Luigi's Mansion. However, I'm sort of content with the gameplay to Luigi's Mansion as a whole. The two of these elements with their combined powers instilled a sense of fear when playing, almost like a haunted house scenario. It seems like it is one of those games that is meant to be both goofy and scary at the same time. Plus, the both of these elements along with the atmosphere tend to mess with you while you progress through the game. A key example of this is when the lights would turn on and the music was to only be heard through a frightened Luigi humming the theme tune. Well, for the most part he sings along to it. It's more or less an every now and again thing. Like I said before, it shows that the game knows that it's supposed to be scary while at the same time having fun with it. When you are playing the game, the atmosphere you are given honestly makes you say, I wonder what's gonna pop up next. It really is one of those things that makes me enjoy the game so much more. So there you have it. A little bit of weight has been lifted off this gamer's shoulders, and to be honest, I really like this game. Like, I can see myself continuing it right after I finish this review. Sure, I understand that it's a little short, and sure, I understand that the storyline is a little goofy, but I can see why gamers today still look back fondly on this. And I can also see why critics do think it falls short of a Mario classic. It's different. But you know what? In my opinion, different is good. Because if you look at the current state of Mario games, they're all either carbon copy ports or just not working out for the franchise. So, regardless, I'm gonna say continue this game. It's really good. Other than that, I'm really looking forward to Luigi's Mansion 2 to see if it actually lives up to the legacy that Luigi's Mansion 1 set. Otherwise, that's about it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Do me a favor and let me know what you guys think in the comments below and all that junk. But for now, this is Smarty, signing off.